Out of habits, even though the baby isn't due for another 6 months.
Oh, the baby,
I wonder what
that
he's
woman
going
is
to do
3
to our
months pregnant.
routine. We've only just settled down into this way of life, and now that must be Chad already.
22-inch waist. Ooh, her husband also weighs 30 pounds.
This is not what women have in their head.
Yeah, where is she
The
going?
old goof. I think he's beginning to behave like a proud papa.
The old goof.
I like to get lunch for him, but on days like this, I simply can't. Everything is ready. I'm sure he doesn't mind coping for himself.
Right, this is not the thought.
She's the prenatal clinic.
Funny, I always thought I'd be scared, but I'm not.
Not scared.
Not of this nor what's coming. Chad told me I wouldn't be.
Well, thank goodness.
Wait, all these other women are
ready for it. And so does your mind. And he's right.
Oh,
he's always doing
I'm going to go sit between these two women.
Making me feel that I can stand on my own feet.
He's like, hi there, hi.
And he expects me to be a real person too. Funny thing is that it works. Of course,
Good thing we do what our husbands say.
It's what I gave up pathology for. It's to be a woman like all these others.
By the way, she was a pathologist.
Being a person in the most complete sense.
Oh my gosh.
The big thing behind Chad and me. Neither one of us needs the other to live or breathe for him.
That's right.
On the other hand, we're not ashamed to depend on each other.
She was not a complete person now until she's having this baby.
Be hard to beat.
Not until she has his baby.
These marriages are not perfect.
But
all in all, they seem to work. And they work in proportion to the emotional maturity of the partners.
Aw, well, that's not bad.
Marriage is an institution for grown-ups.
That's right.
Kathy has grown up to the point of accepting herself. A simple, good-natured soul who likes to love and be loved. To be sure, Frank might read more than the sports page if he wanted to be a better companion for his wife and family.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Kathy knows what she's looking for, and there's a good chance she'll do what it takes to get it. Big
What's that?
things and little things.
What is that? Wait a minute. I'm just going to give this another minute.
Anyone? The Hartfords were going to spend a quiet evening at home.
Listening to she's going to listen to records. He's going to read the paper.
Until
Jim Kieran. He did promise to drop the list of new Kiwanis members.
I don't want to listen to this anymore. Let's start the show. We'll have a question about it later. Where's the thing? Where's the thing? Here we go.
1,000 questions is an entertaining discussion of marriage. We aren't telling you to do or feel or change anything about your life. Really, just listen and enjoy. And if you need real help, find a professional for your specific problem. We don't know you. How could we speak to your deal? Okay, have fun.
Hey, I'm Brad Tassell. That's Donna Wilburn. Welcome to 1,000 Marriage Questions. And I played that only because I saw the beginning of it where this woman who had a 22-inch waist was 3.5 months pregnant, and she had been a science pathologist in labs, but it just wasn't doing it for her, and she needed to be married and quit all. She quit everything, by the way. She was
it said she gave up pathology to be a woman.
Be a woman, not a mother, not a wife, stuff like that. But she was not a woman until she had a baby. But I mean, I guess some women might feel that way.
I hope not. They would need therapy if they do.
If they didn't feel like
your identity is only like in your womb, if your identity is all about what your womb is doing, then that's not how your whole identity should be focused on.
Well, I don't know. But are they totally serious about that when she says that? When a woman says,
you sounded serious.
When they finally had, in the show, obviously they were pushing the whole thing, and they didn't say all bad stuff too. They said that the one guy needs to get out of the paper more, and they need to. But I wonder if some women maybe do. They're like, you know what? I've always been great, but when I had a baby, I really felt like a woman. I don't know.
I don't know if I felt like a woman, but there's still a lot of societal pressure on having babies that if a woman chooses not to have children, it's a difficult road. Like they hear comments and it's still a stigma situation.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people. Matter of fact, most people aren't having kids. We need so many more kids in this country. People need to start popping out 3 or 4 kids. Even in China, they have said we need more kids because the population of this world is getting so old. And we look at the job problems we're having in the United States. We don't have enough kids. I was just in Santa Claus this week. Their schools are, the population of kids in high school and junior high has dropped dramatically. And we need people to start banging is what we need. We need them to start banging and getting kids.
I don't know if you need, I don't know if they need to be attached. Like you can still have sex and not have to have kids.
Well, we need them to, okay. We need them to, that's why I put them together. Have the sex and have kids. We need people to, adopt every kid who needs to be adopted. We need, I don't know, we just need more. And we need to.
You think we do need more? You think the population needs to be increased? Like really?
Yes. Our population has plunged in the last year or so. Pandemic, 600,000 people have passed away just in this country. Plus, our population was getting lower just to pay our Social Security. By 2026, there won't be enough people to work to pay the Social Security for the baby boomers who are coming up. Plus, to do all the jobs that are created in this country, we just don't have enough people. We're already finding this, that we need more people to be born. And think about past 50 years ago, every family had 4 kids. Every family had 3 kids. Now we're lucky to get 1, and a lot of couples don't have any, and most have 2. You don't see as many families, except crazy people, that have 5, 6 kids anymore. And we think of those people as crazy.
Well, I do think of them as brave. I don't know if I think of them as crazy, but I think of them as brave. That's a lot of work.
Sure. Well, but what happens is when you get too big of families, you get like religious nuts, people who are just not just religious, being fine religious, but religious crazy, that we have to have a zillion kids so that we can, force them to believe only what we believe and keep them hidden in our house, like the Dugars or, the Dugars or something like that. I'm telling you, I put all this on because we need more kids in this country. And it don't even have to be kids. We have kids all over the world that could come here and people that would, we need more people generally anyway. And there are places.
I think there's plenty of kids. I do. I think, I'm sure some statistic you read disagrees with me, but I think there's plenty of kids, maybe not that middle area. Maybe there's less like in the middle, like the 18 to 25.
You mean in the world or in the United States?
In the world.
Yes.
In the world.
In the world there is. But in the United States, we just, ever since after the boom generation, people just slowed down having kids, and we do not have enough young people in this country. We just don't. Anybody out there?
No, I don't see any of that because I work with kids and the schools are still really full and they're still overflowing and there's still like a lot of kids
in Las Vegas.
Uh-huh.
Las Vegas, California, some of these places, they are packed, but you go all throughout the Midwest and they are not so much. Matter of fact,
really?
we went and visited a college for my daughter in Tennessee, and a very prestigious college. And they said by 2026, we won't have enough students coming through to fill our ranks. Now, I will say this, though, because of this pandemic and stuff like that, next year at Indiana University and Western Kentucky, they'll have their biggest freshman classes in history. But there are schools all over the country where there's just not coming. Now, we need teachers more. We need thousands and thousands of teachers. So anybody wants to go into teaching, please God, go into teaching. We need tens of thousands of teachers, and we need tens of thousands of jobs filled. But I'm telling you, we need, I don't know. We just need, and after those kids, it gets even less. It just gets, when we have being born, we have a lot less kids being born.
So I see Elena voted that you can contribute more to the population.
Well, and how would I do that? By having, well, but okay, let's call my
popping them out. Let's go.
But who's going to pop them out? My wife is going to pop these kids.
That would be the idea. I guess you can go sell.
She's 50. She's 52.
I guess you could go sell yourself to those who need children.
Is it? Well, but I think there is enough semen out there for if any women are looking for semen, they can find it. They don't need mine. So I'm not going to do that. So, but as far as me personally having children, there would be a lot of problems in my family if I went out there and found a way to have children with anybody. Because
someone would not be happy about
someone would not, a couple people not happy. I would then be cheating, and there would be, even if I didn't do it manually or with that person, there'd probably need to be some discussions that need to be made. And if I was going to have children with other people without being there, they might as well just have somebody else do it, because my genes ain't that damn great. They're better genes than mine out there.
You're going to pick genes, and that yours aren't necessarily the ones to.
Well, you know what, though? If you think about it, they are actually, because my family lives a long time. My mom and my dad are in their mid to late 80s, and they're in amazing shape.
Okay.
Their parents would be a lot better, but they smoked for 70 years and still lived to 85, and still, well, my grandpa's 76. And so genetically, and no signs of dementia that I can think of in my family anywhere. So actually,
primo stuff.
And I'm only an idiot because my mom's doctor told her to keep smoking and drinking, or it would be a shock to her system when she was pregnant with me. You know what? It's better to just continue to smoke and drink, because it'll be a shock to your system if your baby gets oxygen or nourishment. So I'm lucky I am as lucid as I am, because I could really have been in trouble. So, okay, well, let's do a question now that we're talking about this. And any women out there want to have kids with me, just give me a call and we'll
have to go through the wife first.
Have to go. Yes. Yeah. Talk to her and see what she says about it. But maybe my daughter wants a sister or brother. Who knows? Oh my God. The first question says, is it okay to have a girlfriend on the side? Life is happier. Life is happier if you have a girlfriend on the side. Does anyone think that's true?
There are people who think that's true. Yes, there are.
That is the worst. Those people are nuts. Well, but there are people who like a crazy life. They like drama and wackiness all the time. But back when I was single, there was a time when I was kind of dating two people who didn't know for a second. And I was freaking out every second of the day. It was terrible.
You were so nervous.
I'm nervous. You're nervous every second. Why am I doing this? Why am I and what kind of person am I? It's terrible. A terrible person doing this.
No, there's like whole cultures that would prefer someone have a girlfriend on the side so that they don't have to do all the catering and sexy time and all that romance stuff. They don't want to do it anymore. So they're like, can you just find a girlfriend on the side? And there's like cultures full of people who that's how they work. They would.
We had a restaurant up in Stendal where the guy and his wife and the girlfriend were running it. I mean,
that's
was a
interesting.
Guy and his wife, and then the girlfriend was working there, and they all knew. I mean, I know that. I
am not wired that way. Women tend to be territorial, so we don't want our guy with other females, but in some relationships, I don't know a roommate relationship. It's more of like a buddy system.
Well, some people, I love stability. I love that it's just my wife and I. We're two people that we don't want any outside anything, but there's some people. I had an aunt that had this most beautiful home and a husband, a lovely man. They had some kids, and it drove her nuts. Where's the excitement? Where's the party? And she was such a sweet, wonderful thing. She had to leave all that and find a drug dealer to be with. And he was terrible. And then the next one, and then ended up living with a guy who was a con artist who had a wife that she was living with. And for some reason, that was so much better than this humdrum life with this professor or whatever the hell he did for a living, teacher that was with the kids. It was just couldn't stand it. It was just every day.
That sounds like an addiction issue.
Well, addiction to
Wanting
that,
to be high.
but nothing. But yeah, that was the high though. She wasn't on drugs or on. She
Right.
wasn't.
The high was drama. The high was like, I, need an exciting life.
Yeah, and took the pain of it. Took the
Consequences.
if I'm getting smacked a little, so be it. If I'm getting, you know what I mean, which I can never even fathom or understand, because my goal is to avoid conflict in every way. There's people that when the bar gets a little crazy, there's people that walk out the door like me because they can see it coming. And there's people that are like, oh, now it's getting interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know.
Which one are you?
I do not like drama. As soon as it starts to get like any emotional anything, I'm like, gotta go by.
Well, it's not even drama. I'm talking conflict and
I don't even
violence.
like drama, much less like intense Jerry Springer show. Like, no.
Well, think of the people. Think of the people that if there's ever like a fight, like, a girl fight.
Mm-hmm.
I am not the kind of person who wants to stand there and watch and go, yeah, the girl fight. I think these people are dirt bags that like to stand around and watch and not try to de-escalate a situation or fix it or just get the hell out of there because they know that trouble's coming.
I get out and tattle. I'm a tattle. I'm a goody. I go tattle like right away.
Janet and I were on the way to the airport one morning in Nashville. We're getting gas right before we drop the car off. It's 5 a.m. There's two women in a car with grandma, a baby that's maybe 2.5, and another lady. The one starts screaming at the other and grabs her hair and pulls her out of the car as she's holding the baby.
Oh my gosh.
And Janet always says to me, don't get involved. And I would love to not get involved. But in this case, she is punching this woman holding the baby, and no one is doing anything as she is swinging. So I ran over there to grab the baby.
Right.
These two women can kill each other. You can tell they're sisters or related. Let them. I'm not going to get involved in that. But this woman is striking at the baby. So I ran over and grabbed the baby from the woman. She was glad to give it to me. Here you go, dude. And then I looked for grandma, who was standing at the side, too scared. And I gave the baby to grandma. I said, hey, hold this. And then I looked inside. I said, could y'all call the police maybe? And they were going at it. And people like standing around getting excited about it. I was like, why are you excited about this violence going on? I can never get in. And people like that in their marriage too, though. They like that conflict. They come home. Okay. Quick story. I'm on a cruise ship, right? And you get couples. A guy is playing blackjack or cards, right? Mm-hmm. And the wife is standing behind him going, you're going to lose all the money. You're going to lose all. And he goes, leave me alone. Just leave me alone. No, you're terrible. You suck at this. I hate you. You're so bad. You're going to lose. He goes, I'm not blah, 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 blah. I'm not, please leave me alone. She's not, I ain't leaving. He gets up, walks away from the table. She is following him. You don't know that. You're a loser. You don't know. You're so stupid. He turns around and just goes, bam.
Oh my gosh.
Right in the face. Whoa.
Oh
out.
My gosh.
And was immediately taken by security and locked in a cabin and arrested at the end of the cruise. But how many times have they gone through this situation? She knows this is coming. He knows he's going to do this. They keep repeating it. Not that, of course, ever should anybody ever be hit, but how far away can he get? Why hasn't he left the first time? Why is she still stalking him the 15th time? She knows she's going to get hit probably. He knows he's going to do that. They're still together. Oh my gosh. I know. Can you believe that?
I can. I see it all the time. It amazes me. Still to this day, it amazes me that someone will tolerate that.
Well, they both do.
Yeah.
They both do.
It's their dynamic, their game they play. Enjoy that. I live a low drama lifestyle. Thank you very much. No thanks. Out of my world.
But you're helping other people try to lower their drama.
If they want to. Not everybody wants to. Telling you.
And then
Some enjoy it. Some, that's their thing. They want it. They think that's what their goal is, I guess.
I was just reading a story right before we started about Tariq Musa and Christina Hack. You know, those two from Flip and Flop.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Flip and Flop. So they were together for years, obviously doing the show. They got 2 kids, and she's beautiful and he's a good looking guy. And then they start cheating. They start fighting. They get divorced, right? And they're mad at each other, and they still are trying to do the show together. And just the other day, they can't stop either. He's now screaming at her again because she is now smoking toad venom to reset her life after divorcing the second guy that she had because smoking toad. And he is now screaming at her, I'm winning and you're a loser, on air, you know, as they're doing this. And I'm like, all I think about is these 2 kids that just wish they could move in with the Gaineses in Waco.
Right.
You know? They're like, are Chip and Joanna available? Could they pick up 2 more kids?
It's too much. And so remember, we were talking about the one sentence they said in that film clip was you're something to do with like your relationship is emotionally mature, is like, that's how you have a good relationship. You have to be emotionally mature. That would not be emotionally mature.
Yeah.
That's
not in any way. Right. No. Scott says, I can't stand anything violent. Can't watch boxing or MMA. I can't watch, not anymore. I used to watch boxing because there's a science to it in a way. MMA, I can't watch because it is just 2 horrible people trying to hurt somebody. And that's, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. The MMA. I just don't, you know, it's.
I don't like to watch people feel pain. I don't watch the operation things either. Like, you know, someone getting an operation. I don't like to see people in pain. So
Dr. Pimple Popper.
No, that's just gross. That's just gross.
Can't watch it. Can't watch that kind of stuff. I don't like scary movies with blood and guts. You know, I like suspense, but I don't like.
Yeah, I like the ghosty ones.
Yeah, and I don't mind if they say. I just don't like. Why do I need to see the bullet going into the head and exploding out the back?
No thanks.
I don't need to see that kind of stuff. You can let me know that happened. Oh, the guy fell down. He's dead. I get it. I don't need, you know,
close up.
Which is why I don't watch as much.
Slow motion.
So I guess the answer to the question was yes, everyone should have a girlfriend on the side. I think
no, not everyone. They said, what did it say? Can someone be happy or something like that?
No, it says, is it okay to have a girlfriend on the side? Life is happier.
It's okay if it's okay with your partner.
I think this person is saying that they have a girlfriend on the side. That's what they're saying. And they're happier. But I say that's impossible to be happier because it's crazy. Okay. How long is too long to wait for marriage? How long do you hold out before you say, well, I guess we're done because we're not getting married?
So is this like one partner wants to get married, one partner doesn't?
It just says, how long is too long to wait? Question marks, and it says
I don't know
for
if there's
marriage.
too long to wait. Aren't there people like been together for like 20 years and they haven't been married?
Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
So I don't know if there's a too late, but there could be a too soon.
But here's my question. Are they not really married in a way anyway? You know what I mean?
Well, legally.
Because 7 years.
Yeah, legally.
7 years, you're married. You know what I mean? I think that's nationwide. Isn't that a common law? You're married after 7 years.
I think so.
Yeah. So
or domestic partnership, as they call it.
Yeah. So then you have certain rights after that amount of time to that, like married people anyway, right?
What about like if one person wants to get married and they're waiting for the other person to be ready? I would say 2 years, 3 years. If that person's not working towards where our marriage is coming, then. But if it's a collaborative, like we are going to wait 5 years until we get married, then great. Then it's a team thing. Yeah. But if the other person is not moving in that direction or wanting to move in that direction or whatever that is after 3-4 years, I would say you might want to think of someone else.
Yeah, you're deluding yourself. It's not going to happen. Well, it's like, how long do I wait for him to get divorced before he marries me? Well, first of all, why are you dating a married guy in the first place? But Now, my thought is, though, you can take as long as you want or forever if you're getting something out of it. Like if you're dating some dude, or let's go with dude, and you want to get married, but he's not marrying you, as long as you're getting 30 grand a year that you can put into some sort of savings account or investment. I know. Well, but you wanted to marry you, but he's not marrying you. So you find a way to get like 30 grand a year into an investment. Then he takes 10 years. You've got 300,000. He leaves you plus interest.
You're 10 years older.
That's true. You're 10 years older. Well, I think about this though, but if it was a good 10 years and then you got, I mean, it doesn't have to be a bad 10 years. It's just they didn't marry you for 10 years. If it's bad.
With someone like, I don't know why there's some, we must get married. We must get married. We must get married. Like that's not, it doesn't have to be like that.
Right. Elena, your parents aren't married. Have they never been married?
It looks like they were not married.
My parents are not married. Why should I? Well, first of all, you can't go to the hospital and make decisions for somebody. I mean, there's reasons to be married. Well, it depends on how long and what it is and who they are and what the relationship is, whether you can or not. Being married just makes a lot of things easier in that case. So, but
like I said, it's not, we can only be a couple if we're married. If both
that's not true.
are good with, not, then great. If one wants to and one does not, that's like that's same as having kids. Like you can't be in a relationship long term if you have two very different goals.
That's right.
With the kids or the marriage or whatever that is. Like you need to have some common path.
I would say that relationships have worked where one person was old and one person was young, and one person just wanted to get money and be with somebody that, and the old guy's just like, I got money and I want a young thing. And if they're both fine with that, then okay. As if that's what they want. Now, if it's not working and it falls, then you're in trouble. You're right. So I agree with you. No, I don't. All money, just all about money. Get the money, man. Take cash. Take it. No, you're right. Okay. No, I think you're right. If it's working for you,
I'm always right, Fred.
That's true.
That is.
This handwriting is so bad. How do you keep your sex life from your kids, or should you? And I don't think this is talking about them catching you having sex. How do you keep your sex life from your kids, or should you? And I say you should not keep it from them. You want to show them parents who are in a loving, affectionate, passionate relationship, if nothing else, to really keep them grossed out all the time. That you're always
there does come an age where they don't want to know. They really don't. And really pretty much it's probably forever. They don't need to know details.
Well, no, you don't. Yeah. Mom likes it all fours.
There are parents, no joke. I just had a young person complaining to me that their parent was sharing too much about the sex life. And they're like, can you tell them to not do that? It was like a teenager.
Yeah.
And
no,
I was
that's
like, oh yeah. Not.
Yeah, no, that's well, when your mother, she really is a little hard on the old penis,
Yeah,
I think when you are a boy.
Too much. TMI. Details about those kind of things, TMI. But they should know that there is intimacy and that it is private, and they are not to barge in during that time.
Of course.
They know there's intimacy. But you don't want like a child under 10, let's say, to know exactly maybe necessarily what intimacy is.
Of course.
This is us private time. I call it private time.
And that they have private things that are themselves, and no one needs to be anywhere near those. And if they are, you tell immediately. Well, yeah. No child. Well, just like I always liked when my daughter's pediatrician, when she was a little girl, would have an exam, and he'd say, look, I want to tell you something right now. What I'm doing is an exam that's to do this. And I hope but if anybody ever in history ever does anything or says, this is not something this is yours, you tell immediately. And we want to make sure that she knows, everybody knows that because some kids feel like they can't tell, or they're told not to tell, or they're told, they're doing not to tell. And I wanted a loudmouth kid that everybody knows immediately. And you get that too, especially with the hugging. Like when your kid says, I don't want to hug Grandpa Joe, and I'm not want to hug, make him up. Screw you. No, I want her to scream, you're not hugging me. And then every pedophile in this room is going to go, stay away from that one. That one's going to talk. You know what I mean?
That is kind of how it goes.
And it's how it should go. So yeah, every time. I mean, it just, because that, and I was a loudmouth, I was working with, I did a show one time, and Dave Chappelle shows up and asks me if he can close the show. And I said, no, you're a hack. No. And I said, of course, he'd been gone 7 months, and he was talking about Michael Jackson. This is that long ago. He goes, what is with these 12-year-old kids that go to Michael Jackson's? And he goes, let's take a shower, little 12-year-old. And the guy, he said, if I was 12, and I said, Michael, I said, no, I'm not taking a shower. Michael, where's the girls? Why don't we have girls here? What do you mean take a shower? Are you crazy? What? So, but what they do is they find the kids who are easily manipulated and stuff like that, which is
true. So do you know there are two factors for people who are more easily manipulated, two inherent factors?
What's that?
Low self-esteem and anxiety.
And see, that was the good thing about me is with no reason whatsoever, I had high self-esteem. I should have had low self-esteem because I had nothing going for me. But for some reason, well, that's how idiots work. You know what I mean? Idiots don't know they're idiots. That's why we have so few people vaccinated in this country because they don't know they're idiots and they think they've got some stinking point as people are dying all around them.
Their Facebook news.
Yeah. And so they think they know something. And the other one is that, and also I didn't have any anxiety because I'm too dumb to remember things. So when things happen that are mildly traumatic, I totally forget that they exist.
There goes the trauma.
Yeah. So what am I like? Oh yeah, that did happen to me. And I guess in my case, this thing that just happened to me, I just told you about where I had a little thing caught in and for a day I had a little pain and a little pus. That is considered one of the worst days of my life. That's how good it's been. So I have very little to talk about. So
and you are one lucky guy.
I am literally, as my dad has said at 86, he goes, whenever he just had a little stroke and he came back from it 100%. And he even said, he goes, they wanted him to go to memory therapy. And I said, how's that going? He goes, not good. I forgot to go. So, and then he did finally go. And within 10 minutes, they're like, you don't need to be here. Your brain's 100%. Not that either of us are that bright in the first place, but so he said at 86, I've had the perfect life for 86 years, not 4 seconds of real problems.
That's nice.
When I die, I can't complain about, I'm dying. If I ever, he goes, when I had the stroke, it's still, I can't complain. So, and I've been as lucky. So, oh my God, I just read this question. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Which is better, longer or wider? You would answer this question better than me.
You don't know? You can't.
I have never felt longer. I always say if
you don't know the difference of how that feels.
There was a great comedian whose name just fell out of my head. Fred Greenlee used to say, yeah, my girlfriend used to say, oh, faster, harder. What I could never understand was when she said deeper. I said, hey,
that's all I got.
There's no deeper, my friend. There's no deeper.
So it probably depends on the female. We're not all built exactly the same.
Not exactly the same.
Stimulation is at different parts, and there are different parts in your body that feel stimulated during intercourse. So there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4 different areas that are stimulated. Okay. So with diameter, it's going to stimulate certain areas, and with length, it's going to stimulate other areas.
Like your larynx. Wow, that is longer. That is longer. It's all the way.
There's like, that might be too much.
That might be too much.
If you're gagging,
yeah, you're gagging from sex.
You are not having oral sex.
It's not oral, and you're gagging. Oh, we've gone down a bad road.
And it's a little too far. So really, you can be pretty successful either way.
Well, but generally, though, if somebody's a pencil, you may not,
Well, that just would mean certain areas are not getting as much stimulation as other areas.
But then if you're a Coke can, that might be because there's too much too. I mean, there's like stuff that
we have babies come out of there.
That's true. That's true.
So,
but
I don't know if a Coke can is going to be that problematic for some people.
But not enjoyable. I mean, the goal is enjoyment. I don't know if
there's plenty that would enjoy.
There's plenty that would enjoy. I know you're watching all the films, but you got a whole roll of video.
It's research.
Is it research?
It's research, yes.
So that stuff scares. That kind of stuff scares the crap out of me. I can't. Where it's just this. I mean, I'm just like, who wants to be in? I don't. She doesn't look happy. I'm not happy. Who's watching this? I don't want to watch any of this kind of stuff. What's wrong with me? I'm such a prude. I can't.
You are. Here's like something I've noticed. I work with a lot of guys because I'm a very direct therapist. I'm not the kind that just nods and talks feelings. I'm like, fix this problem. So I see a lot of guys, and I've noticed through my years of seeing a lot of guys that men are more dramatic and more prudish.
Yeah, I would think that might be true. Well, and for one way though, I am more prudish because I don't ever want to look like I'm being gross or creepy. Like here's an instance. I was jogging the other day at a park over here, and the students use it for cross country. But it's a little early in the season for cross country. So all of a sudden, a bunch of dudes ran by me that were high school age. Okay, great. That's fine. But then about 6 high school age girls ran from behind me in front of me. Right. And
did they all sexy legs? Did they go sexy legs?
No, my legs are horrible. So anyway, they all ran around me, and now they're in front of me, and they're all in different states of how much clothing they're wearing. So I immediately take my glasses off.
Good for you to make yourself
run. Blind. Yeah, because like you're a blur right now.
I blinded myself.
Yeah, you specifically are 2.5 feet from me, and you're blurry. So I took my glasses off, so they're all blurry. And I kept them off until they went around the corner and up. Not that they weren't probably really cute. I mean, I'm sure they are, but I can not have to see that. And if I thought this in any way, if anyone looked back and was uncomfortable and they said, hey, that guy took his glasses off, and it made them feel 1 second more comfortable, then that is the job that I need to do. So, not that I wouldn't think something's attractive, but that's part of the problem too. I would, and I wouldn't stare because that is also creepy and gross to stare.
Right.
And if I see something, I've already seen it. I don't have to stare at it. I can not see it anymore. So in the 1 second they ran around me, I had to see them. Right. So that's enough. Stop looking. You know what I mean? So in a way, I'm prudish in that way. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
I don't want to get
your prudishness.
Yes. But I also think hopefully making them more comfortable, and not because I think they're immediately thinking every guy is a creep, because most are.
Right.
And that if I can do anything to dissuade the creepiness, you know what? That would make me feel, even if I think things, even if things are going through my mind that are mildly creepy, which happens all the time, as Joe and I have said a million times, we think of creepy things. We think of sex. We think about these things because I know about all that stuff. I want to quell it as fast as possible. You know what
Your
I mean?
own creepiness creeps you out.
Yes. Yes. Well, because as my daughter would tell you, we were out with one guy that we know, and he would like talk about the high school girls. He's somebody's dad. High school, be like, yeah, that one girl's, man, she's hot. What?
That's
She's in high school. Why are you talking about this? Well, and you can't even do jokes anymore because there was a hilarious joke this guy used to do. He goes, yeah, my daughter's now 17 and we were, her friend came over, she and her friends came over to have a slumber party, and they were all like 17, and I can't remember how the joke goes, but there was one of the girls was, since she was little, they'd known, but now she's 17, and talked about them getting ready for doing something, getting ready for bed. He didn't see anything, but just like she came out and she had pajamas on. He went to his wife and said, hey, I think we should get a pool. So that all her friends would come over and be in bikinis around the pool. And
gross.
20 years ago, when he's doing this joke, it was considered hilarious.
Oh.
Now it is not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
now that would not fly well.
Well, and even think of back in the Brady Bunch days when, Greg, I came to this beach to watch girls in bikinis. I mean, that was...
But he's a teenager and they're teenagers. Like,
that's right. Girls
go places to see cute guys too.
That's right. And that's good. And those are healthy things. But yeah, when you're a 40-year-old guy and it's
then that's
creepy as hell. Now you're okay. So that's why we're doing take this quiz and we'll tell you if he's eyeing the babysitter. Take this quiz. And we'll say so.
Was that us talking last time? Was if you want to find a millionaire, be a nanny.
That's right.
Want to marry a millionaire?
Don't go to a fake television show. become a
nanny.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of that, I lost all respect for Ben Affleck and still have none, even though he's better because he's the same kind of guy, same kind of people that don't really respect their families and can't wait to have the nanny and stuff like that. All right. Question one, does he seem like he has something to hide? That's kind of vague.
Do you hide anything from your wife? Do you have like secrets or stuff you don't really tell her or anything like that?
I don't know. Secret. I mean, I have secrets that no one knows. No people know. You know what I mean? Just things about yourself that are just things that you've done in your alone. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's things that I think about or things that I go through my head. There's no point. I think one of the things is that you're not so open with all your thoughts that you say, because they're things that don't matter about anything. You know what I mean? I'm not.
So where it says, does he seem like he has something to hide? Are you hiding anything?
I am not hiding anything. Our babysitter was 68 years old. So
that's someone's fantasy. Okay.
No,
yes, it is someone's fantasy.
No, no. I think we specifically made sure we didn't hire, not that I would have done anything, but it's better not to even have, I don't want to have things in my, I don't like when people are too undressed, too, you know what I mean? I'm uncomfortable and queasy around that kind of stuff anyway. Do I have anything I hide? Do I have any secrets from my wife? No, I don't think so.
Would you?
I'm sure there's things she doesn't know and things about her that I don't know. There's nothing your husband doesn't know about you.
I'm thinking like, am I hiding anything? Like
hiding.
I would say like, I don't voluntarily share every single tiny thing.
Yeah.
But I don't hide anything. And if he wants to know anything, I don't think there's anything that I wouldn't share. If he asks a question or wants to see something or.
I'm so open. Like I'm so open about who I am. And my show is so much about marriage that I have not really had people like hitting on me. You know what I mean? Like if a dude was like, you know, sneaking up on you, trying to get, and you blew him off, you didn't do it. Would you go home and say, yeah, this guy was hitting on me and stuff like that?
I was a cocktail waitress, got hit on all day long.
Yeah, but that was,
I don't, I wouldn't be like this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy.
yeah, I guess it's the opposite with men, because I don't think she would like, because my wife has said things like, I think that girl is interested in you. She's very flirty. And I'm like, well, no, first of all, she's 25 years younger than me. So there's no way she's being flirty in the way she thinks I'm an old idiot that
like patting you on the head. Like,
yeah, like here's a little, but my wife, I think she's kind of a cat. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't see that. But if any other girl, woman, I mean, obviously they're women, but in their younger, would ever act like that, I don't tell her that it happens because I don't think it's really happening, but I know she would say it's happening.
So you'd be like, maybe someone flirted with me today, but I'm not sure.
No, I mean, no, I know she would say they are, even though I don't think it's that happening, really. There have been times.
Yeah, I'm not going to announce that people hit on me, but if my husband goes, did that guy hit on you? I'd be like, yeah, I think he did.
Yes. No, if that happens, then I would. So
or
yeah.
Sometimes I might even brag I am 55 that I can say, guess what? Someone hit on me today.
Well, I say in the show all the time, I talk about attraction. I go, where are the women that are attracted to me? And, obviously the big joke is that they all sit there and do nothing.
Right.
And nobody said, but every once in a while, there are, as in life, there are some women who've just spent 30, 40 minutes watching your show and they really are attracted to you. They really are. There's a couple, and they will, without even being able to help, go, yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, well, see, that's kind of sweet. You know what I mean? That they're
someone clapped today.
Yay. No, I've had in the past women come up. One woman came up and she was very, oh, if only Bubba. And I was like, I ain't interested in you. I ain't interested in you. So it doesn't seem like he's got something to hide. So what does this look like when he's got something to hide? What does it look like?
Looks like he's hiding something. He's a sneaky one.
He's sneaky. He might need to into secret behind his back. The babysitter might have something to do with it. Do you or him, isn't it he? Do you or him talk to the babysitter more?
All right. So that should be the mom's talking to the babysitter.
Yeah, well, when she's 68, it wasn't that big a deal. But yeah, no.
Yeah, you should not be driving the babysitter home, talking.
Well, I'm sure that's one of the
coordinating.
That question's coming up. That question's coming up. But yeah, no, I think the wife should always. I shouldn't be in the room with the babysitter alone.
No. Do not be friendly.
Child is there, or she has to run off and grab something. I shouldn't even be in the room with the babysitter unless she's your niece.
Which one of these ladies is the babysitter?
The woman holding the child looks like the mother. She looks older.
Oh.
Do you talk? Yes. Do you often wonder where your man is?
Then that would be a whole different marriage problem.
That's a whole different marriage problem if you wonder where your husband is. That's crazy. That just seems
wild. I am very, very sneaky.
And that's a sneaky face. Here it is. Does your husband drive the babysitter home? That is, no, this is not a thing.
That's I prefer not, or you can both drive the babysitter home.
Yeah, no, but then you got to put the kid in the car.
I know, right? So just let your husband tend to the child, go take that babysitter home.
Ever since I watched The World According to Garp, I knew no man should ever drive.
I saw that too. And that kind of like put that in my head too.
That's right. So does your husband drive the babysitter home? Is
he like, I'll do it. I'll drive her home. Let me drive her home. Then,
although, did you see the movie Crazy Stupid Love? With in that case, what's his name? Stephen Carell was the dad, and the babysitter was this 17-year-old girl that his son liked. And he was so oblivious. The babysitter loved him so much, was going to give him nude pictures of herself. He had no idea. And he would drive her home, and she's like trying to get off. And he's just like, yeah, okay, see, just like none of it. And then later, when it comes out that her dad finds these nude pictures and a thing to him and goes over to beat him up, he's like, me? What do you mean, me? So there's always that kind of obliviousness too. But I don't.
That's why let the female do it.
That's right. Never put you in a 7. How would he describe the babysitter? Voluptuous.
That's the word.
That was the word we put in the ads when we were trying to find a babysitter. Yes.
Voluptuous babysitter needed.
Must wear thongs. Do you have new thongs?
So
and are you voluptuous?
68-year-old lady. She's like, I have the criteria. I will wear a thong.
Even if I thought somebody was cute, voluptuous, those aren't things you voice.
Not about a babysitter.
Not about a babysitter, not about a child, not about a high school person, not about your daughter's friends, not about you. You keep that deep in your soul, and you avoid them even more in your life. And you
that is true.
do not, yes.
Run screaming.
You run screaming away in every way. So how would he describe? So yeah, there's something wrong with a husband that is describing the babysitter as voluptuous.
Have you seen that babysitter? She's voluptuous.
Wait, what's his response when she's coming over? Shwing. Shwing.
Yeah.
Boing.
Yeah.
Is he stoked? Yeah, the babysitter's coming over. Yeah.
And then you look at him and he's like, oh, just because I'm excited, we're going out.
Yeah, then we're going out to that thing.
I'm excited because we're going out. Yeah.
Is he giddy around her? That's the other thing. Is he, hey, what you doing? I said, hey, what's that? You're so
away from the babysitter.
Does he make up reasons for the babysitter to come over? Oh, yeah, I just called her over to.
Like, what's the reason except to watch the kids and leave?
Well, I wanted her over while I was here to watch the kids while you were gone so I could get some work done.
That's no. That is not happening.
Making up. Does he act differently around the babysitter? Is he awkward or usual? Well, now, but you can be awkward, but awkward because you want to get the hell out of there. I mean, that's because like I would be awkward if that's the babysitter who is incredibly hot and the wife and the kid, and then they both have to leave the room and I'm alone in the room with the babysitter. I'd be I'd be like, I'd leave. I'd be like, hey, I'll go get this and I'll be back in, and I would get out. I would be awkward. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say he flirts with her?
I'd say he better not.
Yeah, I don't. That nothing looks creepier. But what about her flirting with him?
I'd say not. Tossing that babysitter out the door.
I know. Wild. Has he had an affair before? Well, that's just as stupid. Of course, if he has, you're in trouble. Does your babysitter seem put off when you're around? If she's not alone with the husband, she's put off.
Different babysitter needed.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever caught the two of them sneaking off together? Oh my God.
Like, seriously.
Are we serious here?
That would be lawyer time.
Let me think. You know what? The babysitter, my husband keeps sneaking off all the time.
The babysitter.
They're doing a project together for some reason. This is getting stupid. Do you think you overpay the babysitter? Yeah, the apartment in the city is a little too much, I think. that she has.
The credit card with no limit.
The credit card with no limit. Do you even have kids? You have no kids. Do the kids even like the babysitter? No, the kids can't.
Sometimes they don't, but I don't know if that has anything to do with like your husband.
Oh, does she babysit any other kids?
This is my crush, dude.
Yeah, who is that guy?
Crush, Brock O'Hearn.
You know who that is?
I do. He's a crush. He's my Instagram. Okay. He's my Instagram.
You know your babysitter has slept with other married men.
Then it's a no.
How is... How is she in the house?
Interview?
What?
Interview. If that needs to be part of the interview, have you slept with married men? And if that's a yes, it's goodbye.
Now, here's interesting, though. Does your husband have the babysitter's number programmed in his phone? I don't. They might.
Yeah, I thought the babysitter should have our numbers, and we should have the babysitters.
Yeah. That's
That one
weird.
can't be a deal breaker.
Now, if you check the texts.
Oh yeah.
You know, if there's texts that are, this should say, what are the texts between the babysitter and your husband like?
Do they go on text conversations for hours?
Yeah. Is it, do you like longer or wider? You know, I mean,
oh my gosh.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh.
Does he have texting conversations with her? Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. That aren't like, we'll be here at 9. We'll be back at 8.
It should not be a conversation. It's a notification.
It should just be factual. Does he ever bring her up in conversation randomly? Randomly. So I think for Christmas, what about the babysitter said?
This would be a good idea.
Does he compare you to her? Oh my
Better
God.
not.
Oh my God.
Better not.
Although they're both pretty hot in that picture, maybe a threesome.
I think it's the same lady.
Would you say she dressed inappropriately for her babysitting job?
What's the dress code?
If the babysitter isn't wearing that, she's not coming. That's all there is to it.
Oh, no, there's a dress code. I don't need to see any private parts. No private parts showing.
Well, I don't need to see your stomach either. I don't need to see your belly. I don't need to see you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're coming out. Has he ever said your babysitter is hot? Well, I mean, this is too much. These are getting dumb. Does he ever come around your house even when she isn't babysitting? Oh.
Hi there.
Hey, I just thought I'd drop over. I live 32 miles away. But although I like that girl looks crazy.
Yeah, she's got crazy eyes. Hi there.
If you come home and it's her and him are there,
and she looks at you like that.
Although, did you ever watch the movie Juno?
I have.
She wasn't the babysitter. She was having their baby. And she and the husband would hang out a bunch. And she had no interest in the husband. And she wanted them to stay together. But they had interests in common, basically.
Right.
The husband turned out to be a creep. Is she really touchy-feely with your husband? Oh, my God. I mean...
She better not be. Like, she'll get punched in the nose.
How is that?
I can see myself getting violent if I see
one
that.
touch. How is there ever any touch? Are they wrestling on the floor together? What the hell? How is that even a thing? Is that a thing?
No touching. It is a thing because they may be like hugs or.
Okay, we're getting the last one is dumb. Do you think they're sleeping together? If all of that other stuff is true,
that's a yes. It's time to
go together. Oh my God. Yeah. Call new mommy. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, I have no commercials this week. And we are way late. Wow. 58 minutes. Can you believe it? So
that's an hour-long show. That's like that should be on TV.
I know. Anything else we need to do before we go?
I don't know.
Close enough, everybody. So anyway, remember it's wider, not longer. And you should have a girlfriend on the side if you really want one. Let's see if anybody said anything important before we leave. Good show. I'd punch her is what Elena says. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you later. Have a great time. Boop.